Episode 3 of Hard Knocks is done and in the books. What were my favorite parts? What did we learn? Let's talk about it. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today we're going to be breaking down the episode 3 of Hard Knocks, obviously featuring the New York Jets. I just finished watching the episode, and this was, I think, the best episode of the series so far. I thought episode 1 was better than episode 2, but I think episode 3 really hit on some of the finer points on, being on a football team and the process and the messaging and just all of the things that are going on inside of the New York Jets room. The first thing we're going to talk about is, let me say this. Spoiler alert, right? If you haven't watched it, go watch that, then come back. But, man, Woody's got some drip. The necklace, all that stuff. It's really cool to see Woody Johnson really getting involved in the team, and not necessarily in, decision-making or anything like that, but to be a part of, the messaging and the branding and keeping everyone focused. Again, I've been saying this all offseason. This is such an important year for the New York Jets. And to see that same level of motivation or that same inspiration or whatever word you want to use, that same messaging from the top down is coming all the way from ownership to the very last player on the team. I think that's big news for the New York Jets. And Robert Saleh continues to murder it with his speeches, his meeting speeches, his in-game speeches, his huddles, all of the stuff that's going on when Robert Saleh speaks is just phenomenal. And to see that, he is truly a leader of men. There's no other way to say it. And it's crazy to think that, you look back at some of the other coaches that the New York Jets have had, and you start looking and thinking about these guys. Have any of the coaches in recent history for the New York Jets, at any point in time, could you think or believe or look at a guy like Adam Gase, for example, and imagine him standing in front of that room, giving and getting these men ready to, put their bodies on the line, getting ready to push and to strive and to string? Because I can't see it. Same thing goes with Bowles, and it feels really good to know that you have a leader of men at the head of your football team. And at every aspect of it, the whole episode, you see him, getting in there with his players and talking about it and pushing them and always driving his message. It's always the same. Robert Saleh always seems to be either incredibly cognizant of what he's saying, or that's just who he is. And I think that's more realistic. And just to see him, with his kids out there on the field, throwing balls with Aaron Rodgers, talking to just different guys and just being all of that stuff, being a family man. And then, man, how is Coach Saleh still running stadium stairs? Dude, no wonder he looks like the way that he does. I swear, you could put him in pads and put him at linebacker. That's how fit he is still. It absolutely blows my mind that he's still doing that. But enough on Robert Saleh. Let's talk about Coach Hackett really quick. Coach Hackett wasn't really highlighted in today's video, but man, I love Coach Hackett. That interaction with him and Brees, joking around, trying to get, just break the ice and just get him more comfortable, get him out of those nerves. Coach Hackett is one of the most likable people on the New York Jets right now, and I'm so happy that he's our offensive coach. I love Coach Hackett. I think that they should put a microphone on Quinnen Williams every single practice, and they should release as a special feature. I'd pay for it. Just follow around Quinnen Williams with a camera and let me just watch it. Because not only is he a dominant player, we all know this, right? He's arguably the best, if not one of the best, interior defensive linemen in the NFL right now. He got the bag for a good reason, just like Coach Saleh said. He is a commander. He's not just, a competitor. He pulls people along with him. He's incredible. But man, is he hilarious. Talking about, Mike Evans calling me fat, got me all over my feels. I lost weight this summer, And then Clemens joking around with him. Well, you're not. I would say that you're a non-skinny person. It's just all of these things. I don't really get how, because again, I played quarterback when I played sports. I played skill positions and things like that. I didn't have to be a in the trenches and be a killer, like in that aspect. I had to turn it on very briefly because when I had control of certain things, I wasn't really in a mode of I needed to be a technician when I played like lacrosse and in football and things like that. I didn't need to be a monster, and that's what these guys on the defensive line need to be. And to see him go right onto the field and absolutely dominate, and I'm him, and blowing up plays to coming off and joking around. Oh, Mike Evans called me fat. He's got me in my. I don't understand how these guys can do it, but it is absolutely incredible to see it. It's just a switch. They just flip it, and they just become these psychos. There's no other way to say it, and that is awesome. Another thing that I took away from this was the performances from all of the coaches outside of like Ulbrich, Hackett, and Saleh. Like we know Ulbrich is motivated and passionate and loves chopping it up with the guys. We know that Hackett is lovable and likable and all of those things and really, really intense about his offense. We know who Coach Saleh is, but being able to see Coach Auden and to being able to see Coach Embry and highlighting them and their groups a little bit more. One of the things that I thought was so important was when the scrums were happening, Coach knew, Sauce is one of the most important pieces of this team. Like, I have to, they don't need any extra guys. Like stay off of it. Like, stay calm, stay relaxed. Like, stay out here. I'll go handle it. And that's such an important thing, Sauce is such a key piece to how our defense works. You can't have him getting injured for no reason in a scrum for all things, you know what I mean? And the same thing at the end of the episode, Israel Abanikanda was highlighted in this episode, which I think was a phenomenal person to choose because I love Izzy and I think that he's going to have a big thing, but not just because of the injury, I thought it was such a special moment when we saw Embry go up at the end of the game, go out of his way to check in on Izzy, to go and meet his family, and just to give them that word of encouragement. It's like, hey, your son's doing an incredible job. My name's Coach Embry. I'm the running backs coach. Like, the reality is yes, like, these are grown men, and yes, these are absolutely athletes at the peak of their athletic ability. But a lot of these guys are just kids. And that's something that I think gets lost on a lot of the fan base. We forget to remember that these guys are 21, 22 years old. Israel Abanikanda, I think he's 20. To think that these kids are so young and to have your coach, like a coach to you. I remember when I played sports was everything. He was your mentor. He was your motivator. He was your role model. And to have your coach go out of his way to have that conversation with your family, he doesn't need to do that. But I think that's such an important piece of making sure, you're bringing him along, you're involving the family. It's more an extra motivation to get that guy to be able to run through a brick wall for you. And I think that's exactly what happened with that situation with Izzy, to be like, hey, you know what? Your son's doing great. I love this kid and all that stuff. I think those moments, those little things are so very, very important. Moving on. Oh, they highlighted Garrett Wilson in the wide receiver room during camp and certain things like that. And it is really cool to see what Randall Cobb is bringing to this team in terms of leadership. That speech that he gave saying, like, if we don't fix our stuff soon, like, Aaron Rodgers is a cool guy. He's cool, calm, and collected. But if you don't step your stuff up, there will be a point where he's going to blow up on you. And if he can't trust you, you're not getting the ball. So if you want to get the ball, get your stuff right. And, like, this is the benefit of having a guy like Randall Cobb. Randall and Aaron are so close. He's the godfather to his oldest. No, his middle kid, now that his wife is pregnant. Whatever it is, their relationship is so close, and being able to have exactly how Garrett Wilson put it, a translator in the room to help understand what Aaron wants, what Aaron thinks, and all of those things is phenomenal. Sticking to the wide receiver room, man, Garrett Wilson is just special, and he continues to put that on tape. I think the thing that really got me was there was a throw in practice where Aaron Rodgers hit Garrett Wilson on the back shoulder. He had to catch it, moving away from him, and he caught it, and he brought the ball in front of him in it's such a spectacular move to see what he does. Garrett Wilson's body control is oh so special. We knew that when we drafted him. That was part of his scouting report, is like but he continues to get better at it. And the great part is that the rest of the team isn't like missing out on that. You saw Braylon Edwards and Aaron Rodgers chopping it up, and they're like, man, that kid is so quick, he's so fast, and he's down to earth. Like, it's really good to see that relationship blossom, because our offense is going to run through the running back room and Garrett Wilson, and those two pieces are it's going to be the running back room and the tight ends, right, as a combo unit, and Garrett Wilson, and our offense will go as far as they take us. And it's really cool to see just how special Garrett Wilson is. And then I'll end on this. One of the things that I really took away from this episode is the relationship between Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson. It's that big brother relationship, the joking around, the messing around, but Aaron also taking that role of teacher and mentor incredibly seriously. Coming in, joking around, and how can I fit a lesson into this moment? Coming in, joking around, and where's the lesson? And I think Hard Knocks, they did this masterfully, right? Obviously, with the storytelling of like, oh, if you're on the one hitch, the two hitch, you got to get the ball out because blah, 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 blah. And then they show the play where he goes 1-2 sidearm hitch. And then he's just like, you're so athletic, you got to go 1-2. If it's not there, you got to get out of the pocket. And then they show the scramble. But it's things like, obviously, that's really on the nose, but you can see where Aaron Rodgers is starting to impact and affect Zach Wilson and his development. He's starting to do the easy things really easily. He's still got a long way to go, but we always knew Zach Wilson was athletic and that he could make those runs and that he could do those things, but he's always trying to find a place. Here's how you can learn. Here's how you can get better. And that relationship is something that's really cool to be able to see grow and blossom and hopefully turn into something beneficial for the New York Jets. But who knows? We'll have to see with any of that stuff as time goes on and over the years. The final thing, sorry, I just forgot about this, with Aaron Rodgers, not Aaron Rodgers, but with Coach Saleh talking to Quinnen, apparently all of the ones are going to be playing on Saturday. Everybody is playing, and that is awesome. I love that. Let me know what you guys thought about Hard Knocks Episode 3 in the comment section below. And last but not least, go Jets.